basically this is your environment, and it looks a bit messy and everything. We can ignore these side panels. You could experiment with that later, but right now I just want you guys to focus on this. This is where all of your, all of your Jupyter notebooks are going to be. Of course, I haven't explained to you what a Jupyter notebook is. Now this is your entire, basically directories. Yeah, right here is where you're going to be working on a lot of machine learning projects and just data science projects in general. Now, we can start a new Jupyter notebook by going here and pressing new. We could also upload new Jupyter notebooks over here in case maybe there's a Jupyter notebook that you want to download from online, or maybe you're already working on a data science project and you want to restore it back to this environment, then you could just press the upload button. Now, most of you are probably beginners. You've never created a Jupyter notebook before, so just press new. And now, okay, so here, you're going to get several options. Most of you guys are probably going to get like Python 3. It's going to probably say Python 3. This is just virtual environments for me. I'll explain what virtual environments are in another video. But most of you are probably just going to see like Python 3. These are just my own personal virtual environments that I created before. Nothing important right now. I'm just going to launch it. So let's just wait until a new notebook is launched. Let's just wait for that. All right. Basically, this is what you're going to see. What the heck is this? So this is essentially where you can Jupyter Notebook, in essence, I mean, it looks pretty overwhelming, and it is, but trust me, it's one of those tools where you're probably gonna ignore like 90% of the stuff that's in there, and you're probably only gonna focus on very few key features that you only need, to be honest. There's like a bunch of features going on over here. Again, you're not gonna use it at all. You're not gonna use it at all. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Even I don't know everything about Jupyter Notebook or everything about Anaconda, and you don't have to. Don't get into that mentality. Right now we have to focus on our goals, which is AI. So specifically right here, we can run a bunch of Python stuff. So let's just go back to our basic Python that we were talking about last time. So this is a print statement. A good shortcut, by the way, for running. So okay, let's just go back for a second. This is called a code cell. Now, this is very different to the other IDE that we were using last time. So this is onlinepython.com. This is the IDE that I recommend you guys to experiment Python with. This is so you can just get started automatically with Python, start exploring with syntax, start exploring with variables. Jupyter Notebook is much, much better, and I'll explain why in a sec. Here, you can only run one code output at a time. Like if I were to press print hi, I can only run this once. The good thing about Jupyter Notebook is you can run what is called a cell. So this cell, I can automatically code something. Hi AI, for example. I can run this right here, and this is going to be the output. Hi AI, right? I can actually I could code another piece of Python code that is either completely different, completely isolated, or probably following the previous code cell. I can have a separate output in a separate code cell. So let me just explain. So if I just type in print, let's see, welcome to AllMind. Look at that. Now I'm getting two separate outputs. So I can create as many code cells that I want. It doesn't really matter. And I could start experimenting on each code cell. And this is very, very important and very, very useful. I can move these code cells around. I can, switch them up. And it's going to be very useful for when we're playing around with data. Like if I have a data structure that it just has a bunch of stuff in it, and I could probably implement a loop that iterates over that data structure. It just provides me a lot more flexibility in order to do the stuff that I want to do. If you remember last time, we were talking about our last videos in this AI Unlock series, by the way, we were talking about variables and we were talking a little bit about functions. In the very first video, check it out, called Python, Start Coding in Python in 15 Minutes. We touch a little bit upon the overall view of programming. We touched a little bit upon functions and writing your first Hello World script. Then we ended up talking about variables in another video and a little bit about syntax errors. So you guys should already know what a variable is, right? It's just a container that stores data. So this, for example, is a variable that stores a data called 45, right? So 45 is just an integer data type. Just play around with it. The same way that you played around with online Python, play around with Jupyter Notebook. So these are the different code cells that you can create. You can delete them right here with this, cut this cell button right here. You can add with this plus button. You can save your Jupyter Notebook right here with the save button. You can rename your Jupyter Notebook right here. It says untitled. I can rename this to whatever dot, IPYNB, which is, your Jupyter Notebook, and then just press rename, and that's going to be saved. All right, so also, by the way, once you have your code and everything, like your entire project, like let's suppose you're done, you're finished with everything here on a nice little program and everything, beautiful, yay, like nice. You got your program, you got everything going on, you press save, you named your Jupyter Notebook. If you go back here to home, this right here, localhost tree, the question mark in it. Remember, we're back here over here in the directory. This is where our notebooks are going to be saved right here. This is where you're going to find your notebook, whatever you named your notebook. Now, this is not a way that I actually like using Jupyter Notebook. I prefer using Jupyter Lab, but that's my preferences. I'm going to talk about that in our next video on launching Jupyter Lab. But this is just one way, in a very traditional way, to launch Jupyter Notebook and manage Jupyter Notebooks. But in the next video, I'm going to be talking about more about like Jupyter Lab. That's what I'm going to be using personally for the upcoming projects in this series. I want to talk about comments. So when I'm writing a piece of code, right, like x equals, let's say, welcome to all minds, right? I can write what is called a comment. The meaning is in the name. It's a comment. I'm just commenting on the line of code that I'm, coding, right? So right here, this is a line of code. It's just a variable called x that stores this string data that says welcome to all minds, just information that's being stored in this x variable. But I could actually say that this is just a variable x that stores a message. That's a comment. This is just a comment. Now, what's useful for this is that other coders, like if other people are going to contribute to your project, or maybe you just want to stay organized, or maybe you're a little bit OCD like me, and you just want to keep track of things, comments are very useful. It allows you to just quickly explain a piece of code, because especially when code starts to get very complicated and you just want like a quick fast description of what the code does, it just makes your life as developers a lot easier. It helps you, it's just a best practice. It allows you to be organized. So the way that you basically write out a comment is just, so if I remove this hash thing, you can see that the entire format of the text just automatically changes. If I remove this, it's not going to work. If I like literally run this, I'm going to get an error. I have to add this hash. I don't know why I label it as hash, probably because of the hashtags on YouTube. But anyways, it's probably called hash. I don't know. Point is, you use that symbol right there, and automatically this entire thing is going to get commented out. That's exactly what you need. Now, this is just for comments. You can make multiple comments. So if I'm going to make a bunch of lines of code, for example, like maybe you make other variables, 45, whatever. I can input another comment over here. I can write whatever I want. I can also put a comment up here. So I can put comments anywhere as long as it has this symbol in the beginning. This number or hash, I keep getting the names mixed up. I am so sorry. Now, you can also implement, like if you have like a very large paragraph that you want to write, if I want to write like, this is a very large paragraph, I don't know what to write because I lack creativity. Let's suppose that I want to, like, let's suppose that this thing is going to be like super long, and I don't want to have it in like a really long line. So see how long this comment is? I want to have it like in a separate line. Well, your first intuition is probably going to be like press enter, right? But look what's going to happen. I'm going to have to create another hash symbol right here if I want to like create another line for that paragraph. Now this is fine. You can do that, or you can use another method where you don't use the hash symbol, but you use the quotations. You use 3 quotations specifically. Remember, if you use 2 quotations, it's not going to work. You have to use 3 quotations at the beginning. So let me just erase these guys. All right, by the way, if you make a mistake, you go to edit and just press undo. It's really helpful. Undo multiple times, so you can just fix that up. Also, it has shortcuts. So instead of having to always go back, and press edit and then press undo, you can see right over here where it says Control Z. You can press Control Z on your keyboard and it automatically undo stuff for you. That's another thing with Jupyter Notebook. It has a bunch of shortcuts just to make your life a lot easier and more efficient. Now, I could just erase this, 3 quotations. Now see how everything starts to get commented? So I want to put 3 quotations in the end, and then there you go. Now I have this comment. I can run this code cell and it's working. That's pretty much it. I have a comment over here, I have a comment over here, and I have a very large comment over here. And that's about it when it comes to comments. That's all I wanted to show you guys today. Subscribe, join us here at Allmind. And with that being said, done.